In today's fast-paced and unpredictable world, being street smart is often the difference between survival and failure. But let's be clear. Being street smart is not about being aggressive, deceitful, or breaking the law, and it definitely doesn't mean adopting a thug mentality. Welcome to Street Smart Secrets, the channel where we challenge what you think you know about money and unlock powerful insights to sharpen your financial mindset. It is a common misconception that the place of one's birth determines the trajectory of their success. While environmental factors undeniably play a role in shaping perspectives and access to opportunities, they do not ultimately dictate an individual's capacity for achievement. The notion that one's geographical or socioeconomic background is a fixed determinant of future outcomes is both limiting and misleading. History and contemporary society are replete with individuals who have risen from underprivileged or disadvantaged environments to attain exceptional levels of success. These examples challenge the deterministic view that success is exclusive to those born into affluence or favorable circumstances. Rather, what appears to be more decisive are internal qualities such as resilience, adaptability, resourcefulness, and vision. When individuals are able to leverage their circumstances, however adverse, as motivation rather than constraint, the result is often a redefinition of what is possible within and beyond their environment. And this is exactly what sets a street-smart individual apart from the rest. Statistical evidence and real-world observations suggest that individuals who are street-smart often outperform those who are solely book-smart, academically, professionally, and even socially. According to a 2016 study in the Journal of Applied Psychology, practical intelligence, which aligns with being street smart, was a stronger predictor of job performance than IQ alone, especially in high-pressure or dynamic environments. Another study from Forbes found that 70% of self-made millionaires did not graduate from elite universities, many of them crediting their financial success to street savvy, adaptability, and people skills rather than formal education. This is largely because street-smart individuals operate with a strong sense of practical awareness and adaptability. They understand how to navigate real-life situations, solve problems under pressure, and connect with people from diverse backgrounds. While book smarts rely heavily on theoretical knowledge and structured learning, street smarts are rooted in lived experience, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. In essence, one engages with reality as it is, while the other often engages with how reality is described on paper. The most successful individuals tend to combine both, but when push comes to shove, it's the ability to think on your feet, read the room, and make strategic moves that often determines long-term success. Therefore, being born in a low-income neighborhood or marginalized community should not be seen as an automatic barrier to success. Instead, such beginnings can serve as the crucible in which character, creativity, and perseverance are forged. Individuals are not merely products of their environment, they are also agents capable of transforming their realities through informed action, strategic thinking, and continuous self-development. Moreover, modern advancements in technology, education, and global communication have increasingly democratized access to tools and knowledge. While disparities persist, the playing field is far more accessible than ever before. As such, agency and intentional effort become more significant factors in shaping one's future. So while our environment may influence us, it does not confine us. Success is increasingly defined not by where you start, but by how you respond, grow, and evolve in the face of challenges. So what does it mean to be street smart? Being street smart is the ability to make practical decisions in real-world situations. It's about understanding your environment, reading people, spotting opportunities, and avoiding traps. It means having emotional intelligence, adaptability, and a sharp sense of judgment that allows you to maneuver through life's challenges wisely, especially outside formal or academic settings. Being street smart means knowing when to speak and when to stay silent, recognizing who's genuine and who's playing you, managing limited resources with maximum creativity, building networks instead of making enemies. You can be street smart and still be respectful, lawful, and ethical. In fact, true street smarts involve avoiding trouble, not looking for it. Let's dive into the truth behind the tough talk. Is thug mentality really all that, or just hype with a hard face? Too often, society confuses street intelligence with aggression, recklessness, or even criminality. But that's a dangerous stereotype. Thug behavior, intimidation, violence, manipulation, isn't smart. It's short-sighted. It may seem like a shortcut in the moment, but it leads to burned bridges, legal trouble, and limited opportunities. Here are 7 signs of real street smart person. 1. Real street smart individuals don't intimidate, they influence. True street smart people understand that lasting power doesn't come from fear, but from influence. They know how to read a room, connect with people, and adapt their communication to win trust and respect. Instead of using aggression or dominance to get what they want, they rely on emotional intelligence, strategic thinking, and persuasive charm. These individuals master the art of subtle leadership. They make others feel seen, heard, and valued, which earns them loyalty and support. They don't push their way forward. They pull others in. Influence, after all, is more sustainable than intimidation. While fear may get short-term compliance, influence builds long-term impact and opportunity. In business, life, or the streets, the ones who win are rarely the loudest. They're the ones who can move silently and still shape outcomes. Take Warren Buffett as a prime example. He's not loud on social media, doesn't hype up his investments, and rarely makes impulsive moves. Instead, he studies markets deeply, invests in long-term value, and builds quiet influence through ownership in powerful companies like Apple, Coca-Cola, and American Express. Now contrast that with meme stock traders, individuals or online communities who loudly pump up stocks like GameStop or AMC for quick profit. They make noise, draw headlines, and get rich fast sometimes. But that hype fades quickly, and many end up losing money when the momentum crashes. Buffett, on the other hand, quietly buys undervalued assets, holds them for years, and shapes the future of entire industries, all without needing the spotlight. His silent strategy has consistently produced billions, built influence, and earned the respect of global markets. When brains meet hustle, that's street smarts, my friend. Real financial power lies in strategic thinking, not in making noise. The ones who move silently are often building real wealth, creating value, and shaping markets behind the scenes, while others chase quick wins under the spotlight. 2. Street smarts don't fight to control. They negotiate to win. Truly strategic individuals don't waste energy trying to dominate or overpower others. Instead of forcing control, they use negotiation, persuasion, and value exchange to reach win-win outcomes. The goal isn't to beat the other person, it's to walk away better off, with relationships and opportunities still intact. In 2013, Jeff Bezos bought the Washington Post, not by aggressively trying to take over or silence the media, but through a thoughtful negotiation that left all parties satisfied. The paper was struggling financially. Rather than stepping in to control or overhaul everything, Bezos negotiated a deal that respected the legacy of the Post, provided the financial backing it needed, and gave him influence, not through force, but through trust and value creation. He didn't fight to control the newsroom. He gave them the tools to thrive. The result? Under Bezos, the Washington Post turned profitable and technologically forward, a win for both the publication and the investor. Powerful people don't need to dominate. They collaborate, communicate, and negotiate with long-term gain in mind. Whether in business or life, influence lasts longer than control, and negotiation wins more allies than conflict ever could. 3. They don't just hustle. They build systems and strategies. Hustling is about working hard, grinding day and night to make things happen. But real success isn't built on hustle alone. The most successful people create systems and strategies that allow their success to scale and become sustainable. They stop trading time for money and start building structures that work even when they're not present. Elon Musk didn't become successful by just working hard, though he famously does. He became a billionaire because he built systems and strategies that multiply the impact of his work. Take Tesla, for example. He didn't try to personally sell every car. He built a system, a manufacturing and supply chain strategy, direct-to-consumer sales, an innovative marketing model, and a strong brand identity that now runs globally with or without his daily input. The company even set up an entire charging infrastructure, supercharger network, to support long-term scalability. That's the difference. A hustler might sell a few cars a day through personal effort, while someone that is street smart builds a machine that sells thousands every hour. Real street smart people know that hustle alone isn't enough. Yes, they grind. They move fast. They know how to get by and get paid. But the ones who truly level up don't just hustle every day. They use that street wisdom to build systems that keep the money flowing, even when they're not on the block. Let's say two guys are selling sneakers. The first guy is a pure hustler. He wakes up early, hits the streets, makes calls, posts online, sells one pair at a time. He's making money, but it's all on him. No hustle equals no income. The street smart strategist, he starts the same way, selling one pair at a time, but then he starts building. He links up with suppliers for better deals, builds an Instagram store, partners with a delivery guy, and sets up a referral system. Now he's selling in his sleep. He's got volume, repeat customers, and less daily stress. He's not just hustling anymore. He built a hustle machine. Street smarts isn't just surviving, it's about flipping the game. The smartest ones don't stay stuck in the daily grind. They take what they've learned on the streets, people skills, risk management, negotiation, and turn that hustle into a system that makes them money consistently, with less effort over time. Hustle opens the door, strategy keeps it open. 4. They prioritize cash flow over flashy lifestyle. Street smart individuals know that wealth isn't about appearances. It's about financial security and freedom. They understand the crucial difference between looking rich and actually being rich. While others might chase status symbols like luxury cars, designer clothes, or flashy gadgets to impress others, street smart people focus on building assets that generate steady income and grow in value over time. To them, a luxury car that drains money each month isn't as appealing as a rental property, a dividend-paying stock, or a small business that puts cash in their pocket consistently. It's not that they don't enjoy nice things. They just prefer to let their investments pay for their lifestyle, not the other way around. In short, they don't just buy things that shine, they buy things that earn. That's the real flex, financial independence, not financial stress disguised as luxury. Number 5. They know the difference between assets and liabilities. A financially street-smart person has mastered one of the most important principles of building lasting wealth. knowing the difference between assets and liabilities, and acting on that knowledge with precision. While many people get caught up in surface-level income or appearances, street-smart individuals think in terms of cash flow. They ask one powerful question before any financial decision: will this put money into my pocket or take it out? If it puts money in, like a rental property, a stock that pays dividends, a business, or even a monetized YouTube channel, it's an asset. If it takes money out, like a luxury car with monthly payments, unnecessary subscriptions, or a flashy purchase that doesn't generate a return, it's a liability, no matter how good it looks on Instagram. This mindset guides their spending, investing, and lifestyle. They're not just trying to save money, they're constantly trying to build systems that make money for them. They prioritize acquiring income-generating assets, things that work for them even when they're not actively working. Whether it's investing in digital businesses, buying real estate, or funding scalable side hustles, street-smart individuals focus on cash flow, not clout. And in the long run, that's what creates real financial freedom. 6. They keep learning, especially from the streets. Financially street-smart individuals don't sit around waiting for a degree or classroom to tell them it's time to level up. They understand that in today's fast-moving world, knowledge is everywhere, and the real edge comes from how quickly you can learn, adapt, and apply. They might not have a formal business education, but they have something often more valuable: real-world experience, a hunger for growth, and street-level wisdom. They learn by doing, by starting side hustles, making bold moves, failing forward, and tweaking their approach with every setback. Instead of fearing mistakes, they treat them like tuition fees for the real world. Every failed venture, tough deal, or missed opportunity becomes a stepping stone, a lesson they actually apply. And when it comes to learning, they go beyond textbooks. They soak up insights from mentors, podcasts, YouTube, online courses, forums, books, and the people around them. Their classroom is the street, the internet, and the marketplace, and their exams are paid in results. But what truly sets them apart is speed of application. They don't just gather knowledge, they act on it immediately. If they read something useful today, they're already testing it out tomorrow. If they hear a strategy that works, they're implementing it before the trend goes mainstream. In a world where most people wait for permission, the street smart go get results. 7. They know the rules and how to bend them legally. Financially street smart individuals don't just hustle. They play the money game with strategy and precision. They understand that real wealth isn't just about how much you make. It's about how much you keep, grow, and protect. That's why they stay informed about the fine print areas that many overlook: tax breaks, credit optimization, legal business structures, and financial loopholes. Not because they're trying to cheat the system, but because they know that the system itself has rules. And those who win the game are the ones who understand and apply them better than the rest. Street smart people know that the wealthy don't just rely on salary income. They structure their finances in ways that minimize taxable income and maximize deductions. They know about LLCs, S-corps, and trusts, and how to use them to legally protect assets and reduce tax burdens. LLCs protect your personal money from business risks. S-corps help you save on taxes when your business makes steady profit. And trusts are used to safely pass on wealth to your family or protect your assets. They understand the power of business expenses, strategic investments, and government incentives. Whether it's writing off part of their home office, using a car for business, or reinvesting profits into real estate or other tax-advantaged assets, they're playing the same game as everyone else, just smarter. They also know how to leverage credit instead of being crushed by it. Instead of racking up consumer debt, they use credit to build businesses, acquire assets, and unlock travel or investment perks, all while keeping utilization low and scores high. They don't break the rules, they master them. And when necessary, they bend them legally to their advantage, just like the wealthy have done for decades. That's the difference between simply earning and engineering wealth. Why it matters to be street smart. Many young people, especially in tough environments, are taught to be hard as a form of protection. While toughness has its place, wisdom always wins in the long run. The most successful entrepreneurs, negotiators, and leaders are not always those who started with the most resources, education, or connections. In fact, many of them come from modest or even disadvantaged backgrounds. But their rise to success isn't just about fighting harder. It's about thinking smarter. Growing up with limited resources often forces people to develop adaptive thinking, emotional intelligence, and resourcefulness. They learn to observe people carefully, navigate difficult environments, and solve problems creatively. Skills that are critical in business and leadership. These individuals also tend to stay calm under pressure because they've had to manage stress and uncertainty from an early age. That emotional discipline becomes a strength in high-stakes negotiations, decision-making, and risk management. Finally, instead of making impulsive moves, they learn to move strategically. Whether it's choosing partnerships wisely, investing time in high-value relationships, or seizing the right opportunity when it comes. They don't rely on luck or privilege. They build their way up by being deliberate, calculated, and sharp. In essence, their background didn't just make them tough. It made them smart, strategic, and incredibly aware. And that's often what sets them apart in the world of entrepreneurship and leadership. Just because you were born in a poor neighborhood or into a family with limited means doesn't mean you're disadvantaged for life. In fact, it can be your greatest source of strength. If you choose to see it that way, your background may shape your beginning, but it doesn't have to define your destination. The key is to develop yourself, fuel your ambition, and stay encouraged even when the odds seem stacked against you. Use your circumstances not as a barrier, but as motivation to rise above them. History is filled with people who came from humble beginnings, yet went on to achieve extraordinary things. Not because life was easy, but because they refused to be limited by their environment. They chose growth over excuses, resilience over self-pity, and strategy over circumstance. So don't let where you start decide where you finish. It is important to re-emphasize the fact that being street smart doesn't mean being a thug. It means being equipped for real life, the kind that isn't taught in classrooms. It's about navigating challenges, reading people, adapting fast, and making decisions that protect your interests while staying true to your values. It's rising above the noise, not with fists or fear, but with intelligence, resilience, and character. Thuggery and street smartness might look similar on the surface. Both operate outside traditional systems, often shaped by survival. But at their core, they are fundamentally different paths with opposite outcomes. Someone may flash wealth gained from illegal hustles or exploitation, but without systems, ethics, or smart reinvestment, that money disappears, often with serious consequences. Street smartness, on the other hand, is strategic and sustainable. It's about influencing outcomes through wisdom, relationships, and calculated risk. Street smart individuals play the long game. They know how to turn limited resources into lasting wealth by delivering real value and building trust. Their success is rooted in substance, not showmanship. In finance, life, and business, thuggery burns out. But street smartness builds something that lasts. Here's why people often get deceived into thinking the two are the same. 1. Media stereotypes. Movies, TV shows, and music often glamorize street life by showing characters who break the law, use violence, or hustle in harmful ways as smart or tough. This blurs the line between street intelligence and thuggery, making people believe you have to be rough or criminal to survive and succeed in tough environments. A character in a show who scams others or sells illegal goods is praised for being street smart, even though that's manipulation, not wisdom. 2. Glorification of the hustle. In some circles, people romanticize the idea of grinding by any means necessary, even if it involves cheating, fighting, or stepping on others. This misrepresents real street smarts, which are about adaptability, emotional intelligence, and strategic thinking, not violence or dishonesty. 3. Peer influence in tough neighborhoods. In areas where opportunities are limited, young people may be taught, intentionally or unintentionally, that being feared, aggressive, or dominant is the only way to gain respect. They confuse intimidation with intelligence and think being street smart means acting like a thug to survive. 4. Lack of role models. When people don't see positive examples of street smart individuals, those who rise through resilience, creativity, and strategy, they default to visible figures who may have gained success through negative means. 5. Confusing toughness with intelligence. Being mentally tough and being aggressive are not the same. Real street smarts involve navigating life with wisdom, resourcefulness, and emotional control, not brute force. 6. Misinformation on social media. Online influencers sometimes push the idea that bending rules, getting even, or playing dirty is part of winning, and call it being street smart. This sends the wrong message to impressionable audiences. In conclusion, you don't have to wear a suit to be smart, and you don't have to carry a weapon to be respected. Being street smart is about surviving and thriving with wisdom, awareness, and self-discipline. It's strength with strategy, hustle with integrity, power with purpose. Being street smart means reading people well, making quick but thoughtful decisions, adapting to your environment, avoiding danger, not creating it, solving problems creatively, turning disadvantages into advantages. And that wraps up today's deep dive into what truly defines a street smart individual, not just in talk, but in mindset, strategy, and action. Stay sharp, stay aware, and remember, real street smarts build lasting success, not just flashy moments. If you found this helpful or learned something new today, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Tap the notification bell so you never miss a future post. And be sure to share this with someone who needs to hear it. Comment below. Which of these surprised you the most?